So what was the question?
Yes, what prompted you to be focusing on this at this time?
It's several things. I'm an employer of several young professionals. But also, I remember my journey to home ownership.
Is has the new
And
tariff
I'm frustrated as well
superseded
for the
the
young
CBI?
professionals in terms
Blessed
of
is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly,
the prospect of
nor
owning a
standeth in the
home.
ways of.
And we're also housing developers. And we see the challenges they face when interest rates go up, and also when there's limited supply in the market. Um, and and also as an engineer, we're frustrated when we see maybe development that is mismatched with the needs of the country and the needs of the brains of the country. You know, when these young professionals leave Jamaica tomorrow, it doesn't do us any good as a country. You know, losing 85% of your human capital is a phenomenal loss. So I was motivated to write, um, to just put my 2 cents on paper. I think also what prompted it was the night before on TV was a story on the sewage in the streets downtown, which is a recurring problem for the last few years. And the two kind of come together because the city needs to be rejuvenated. It's time now to, you know, carry us into a new age, and we can't be having these very basic problems persist for so long. And so much about people need homes. Let's rejuvenate the city, make spaces for them to want to live here, and make it possible for them to live here, so they're not going to, serve another country.
Yes. And before I go to Miss Jazz, for further context, you describe it as
In
we're having
March
a
of this
housing
year
crisis.
compared with
Tell
March.
us why you say that we're having a housing crisis, especially for young professionals.
A crisis can be defined in several ways: affordability, supply in terms of deficit, and the financial aspect of it. But certainly in terms of deficit, in terms of numbers, we do not have enough houses available to the market. From 1960, the need for 150 homes per year was 150,000 homes in total, about 15,000.
Hello?
Shaka for you, what going?
Where are someone?
Boy, one time I wonder if me get banned from the program, you know, cause me I call much weeks so I can't get through.
Oh, you don't get. Well, the calls are plenty, my friend. So,
No man, me always call within the provisions of the program and I like me just call randomly, you understand?
okay, okay.
Yeah, me always call during me just get the notification like when I say you're live.
Mm,
So me say me I call. Anyway, a couple of things I want to call upon you. See. So
talk to
first
me.
thing I want to ask
Yeah.
you, given the fact that it a go approximately 3 years or 3 and a half now since the Prime Minister statutory declaration cannot be certified by the IC.
Mm.
Is there any provisions within our law where like his belongings can be seized by the state?
Well, I am not sure about that. I am not sure about that, but that would have to come with a court ruling, and
Mm,
you would have known that the Prime
mm,
Minister had taken the country to court.
mm,
So I think it's October that
mm,
they will be having this court hearing.
mm.
So
Okay.
we basically have to just wait and see. But I don't believe, though, that
Mm,
a prime minister with his statutory filing not certified should be on the ballot going into a general election because it is law, you know. It is not like when PG said that when it wasn't required
mm,
of him, he released his statutory filing. It is
yeah,
no
yeah.
law that every parliamentarian must submit a filing to the Integrity Commission, and then the law further states that the Prime Minister and the leader of opposition, once certified, a summary must be made public. And for the last 3 years, the Prime Minister one has not been made public.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask you the question now, because remember now, even though I know so the Prime Minister, it's possible where he might be exempt because of diplomatic immunity and so forth. But remember now, you and I as a citizen, or anybody in society, for that matter.
Yeah, good evening, Auntie Elaine.
If we were to acquire any amount of riches or wealth and there's not sufficient evidence to prove as to how we come by it, remember?
Yeah.
The court can give an order for it to be
proceeds
forfeited.
And I think it's what they call the Proceeds of Crime Act.
Yeah.
But the Prime Minister has been referred to the FID, and they are also referred him to Tax Administration of Jamaica, because some of the allegations and Justice Panton said that they are not mere allegations. They are findings from investigation. So what Justice Panton, the former Supreme Court judge, said that these findings are facts. That's what he said in the Parliament.
But given the facts, remember now, FID and and THA, they both report to the Ministry of Finance, right?
Yes, correct.
So basically that would come like the government to investigate itself. So I mean, I wonder if that will yield any amount of adequate result. Like I wonder if we should have like some independent body do the investigation. I don't know, but
it is nasty. It is a nasty state of affair that we are in. Very uncomfortable. And then the Prime Minister don't seems to really have any remorse or any moral compass that is guiding him to do something about it. I have suggested here that I believe that what the Prime Minister ought to do going into the election, if he intends to be on the ballot, is present all the documents that he had filed to the Integrity Commission, make them open for public scrutiny, and make himself available for a number of interviews. Yeah. And those interviews can't just be with Nationwide. They have to give me an interview. People like Dean Jackson Miller, Simon Crosskill, Conrad O'Brien, Andre Stevenson, yours truly, go up on Rhetoric on them show. People who will ask the real questions. Him need to go sit down with Ralston Hyman.
The Prime Minister knows if him cross certain part, him too will get clinched by a broken bottle. So that's why him now go take certain.
No, but if you are clean,
people like Dr. Sutherland them and Ralston them,
no,
asking the hard question when
want to hear. But if you are clean, then you need to come forward. If you say like the Prime Minister say now have nothing to hide. So if you now have nothing to hide, then you need to step up to the plate and make people hear you answering pertinent questions. Because
it is true.
Remember, the Integrity Commission is not just any average body. The Integrity Commission is a creature of law.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, definitely.
So they have legal standing, serious legal standing. And therefore, it is not just any Joe that is accusing the Prime Minister, and there are some serious accusations. The Prime Minister is accused of using charitable funds to buy stocks and bonds for himself.
So let me ask you something. There's something recently where some land acquisition was done, and it was stated that it's the Prime Minister's son, acquired the land. I don't remember the exact location.
There was an argument about some land, same place down in Caymanas that they had the Rain Tree project open the other day.
Yeah, recent something where the Prime Minister grown the other day for some development.
So we don't know if it's a fact. It's alleged that his son had purchased some of the lands. We don't know for sure because, you see, social media sometimes put out some things where you can't really follow, because a whole heap of things we see on social media that are not true. People make up statements put in a social media. People use AI to create things put in a social media. So when you hear things in the social media, you can't just jump on them. You have to take them with a grain of salt and go do your research. It might be a hint for you to do some research. Yes.
So you fact checking. But me there say, if the allegation is so, that would clearly be a conflict of interest, because I mean, come on, we are if it is said that the Prime Minister's son, purchased land, it would have still appear as if the Prime Minister buy the land, because how him son knows the land is sell, and when him son get them type of money there from, and what, you understand me? So,
well, you see, all those questions need to be answered, because when you talk about conflict of interest, the chairman of the UDC, Mr. Brown, I don't remember his first name right now, who is the Prime Minister. Norman Brown, who is the Prime Minister's business partner and friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? The Prime Minister is involved in real estate. The UDC owns a lot of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And the Prime Minister
have
him friend as the chairman, and then the last thing that the Integrity Commission had investigated, that housing project. You remember that? That the Prime Minister said he's no longer a part. But when the plan was submitted to the KSAMC, the Prime Minister was a part of it.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
definitely.
he withdrew himself from it. And therefore, there's a whole heap of conflict of interest. Whole heap.
I think, I don't remember if me raised that something I would do one time ago, but Makiva Bush, the former premier of the Cayman Islands, that's it?
Yes.
I remember one time when him did do some spending with government resources and it never approved by the cabinet. And when you're looking at him own cabinet members, them come down upon him and him have to resign.
Well, you see, that is what you would have expected in Jamaica with the investigation of the Prime Minister. You would have thought that the Prime Minister would have at least stepped aside for a while to clear his name. But yet, what you have in Jamaica is that labor rights gather around the wagon to protect the Prime Minister.
Yeah, because him own cabinet members, them are say him are the best Prime Minister and them in support time 100%. So he beg you to question now if them really have any integrity,
But also remember that the Integrity Commission said that there are 8 people in the Parliament who are under investigation for illicit enrichment.
Mm-hmm.
So it would stand to reason why some of them would circle the wagon and not defend the Prime Minister, because they know that their day is coming and they are going to need support. So
and I remember Mark Colin clearly stated on several occasions that all of his members, including the senators, all of them signed the code of conduct and everything, and none of the government members them not sign it.
Hold on, they didn't just sign the code of conduct. They signed a letter stating that they have no knowledge of them being under investigation for illicit enrichment. And I'll tell you more what the PNP has done. The last NEC meeting of the National Executive of the People's National Party, motion was moved that any parliamentarian who knowingly mislead the party leader, meaning that any one of them who said that them never know, said them under no investigation, and it come out to prove that they are under investigation, they will be removed forthwith from their position.
Definitely.
You understand?
I want him to know still no shaka.
Yeah.
Anytime the election call and the PNP win, because I not say if I win, because I know say the PNP will form the next government.
We will form the next government.
Yeah, I know I'm certain. But one thing I know, I want him more you make the current leader know whenever you talk to him. When that day coming, there will be no honeymoon, straight to business, straight to the kitchen and the cooking start. You understand?
No, but listen. We have to start pre-cook the thing them from now, because I don't know if you listen to the program Saturday morning. Jamaica is in serious trouble, my brother.
Yeah, man, a whole heap of work has to go done, man. Whole heap of work. I'm tell you, one of the first order.
Hold on there for me. Just hold a sec for me. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to all the people on Caribbean Radio HD and the people on Portland Spice TV. Good evening and welcome. This is the Colin Bell Show. We are live right here. Yes, my brother. Continue.
Yeah, man. One of the things when Mr. Colin have to go start, I think the first order of business. A lot of heads of government and you know some board of directors and some government department have to get shift out because a lot of them conflicted and them now do what them to do.
Well, let me tell you something that happens
within the interest of the government, you know.
Let me tell you something that happens in Jamaica. When it comes to the boards, once there's a change of administration, all the boards are dissolved. And the new administration put in their board.
Okay.
So all the boards will be dissolved.
One of the things when me hear Ralston keep on a stress on too, the PIOJ now do the work what them supposed to do because them are do the work what Statin supposed to do.
They are competing with Statin.
Right? And now for them job is to tell the government where to put what, how to do this, etc. Planning that are the mandate to them have and them are do the opposite. So it clearly so right now them need a shake up to Mr. Henry needs to take a walk.
Well,
you know?
Mr. Henry has actually compromised himself, making statements when the country is in a recession that Jamaica is not in a recession. Those statements really put his reputation out there to take a really beating. And it is getting that beating because it is clear now, everybody know that the country is in a recession. And then with what is happening in the United States of America and what is happening between US and China, serious, my brother.
Let me ask something else, Shaka. When I pay attention to me, hear you, John, raise it a number of times on several programs also. We notice where the Prime Minister take almost every agency and put them in office. Is that a credible thing to do, or is just him I do that off him own? Because I mean, previous prime ministers before, we never see them do that. Like every agency was always allowed to operate independently, but Mr. Wellness have the National Road Safety Council, him have NWA, him have the Public Defender.
As it relates to the Road Safety Council, I think all prime ministers always chair that committee. All prime ministers in Jamaica, from my understanding, has always been the Minister of Defense as well. But to have these maybe 20 or 30 odd ministry under his belt, no. Other prime ministers don't normally do that. Works, roads and works, never normally in the prime minister office. Only for them office there, NEPA should be an independent agency, should be independent of any political interference. So you have only for agency in them office will never normally happen. And hence you'd hear opposition leader Mark Golden said that is one of the things that also creates a bottleneck in bureaucracy in Jamaica because a whole heap of things the Prime Minister himself have to sign off on. And with a Prime Minister being busy and have a whole heap of work, the Prime Minister should not be taking on so much. So the Prime Minister seems to be micromanaging the country.
Because even the office of the public defender, one of the time I wonder if that office has been debunked, you know, because I recently listen an Isabel program and she a quote from an article with the public defender issue in regards to, you know, she had briefed the public as to them rights, etc. I mean, I say, but not even they know say we did have a new public defender because I mean, we don't hear about them for such a long time, but the office in a film office, so I say, wait, I want to go on.
One of the problems that we are having in Jamaica now, though, a lot of people are afraid of political victimization. That's why, I don't know if you remember when Portia Simpson-Miller was Prime Minister, every agency had a voice. Everybody used to come out and talk. Them criticize Portia, them criticize the government. But under
the media houses, them, all of them.
The church is everybody. Under this administration, people are afraid because they are not afraid to victimize you. They're not afraid to come out and lock you down if they can lock you down. So a lot of people don't talk much. Them sit down, them talk in the background. You will call them and they tell you they are ready to give you the information. When you call them and they know that Shaki and I record me. No, I want to talk to you if you come on the program. Them tell you everything, but they're not coming on the show. They're not coming on the show to talk. Because I'm gonna tell us, say, yo, me have my youth them for send guys school, brother. Me have to protect my brother, Brother, me no want nobody do me nothing, Those are the kind of talk that you get from these people.
Me I tell you on the show, Shaka, right now? Me give thanks to the advent of social media still, because if it wasn't a platform like yours and Lonesome and Ratigan them and ABR and Aromatic and these type of people, we a lot of things we wouldn't know, because the traditional media them not carry certain things and them carry what they want to carry.
And now we are forcing them to carry certain things. Because
it seems like them in a bed with the government a lot of times, and even some of the so-called analysts them tell the government what they want to hear. That's why them not rate man like Ralston, because Ralston just call it as it is.
Well, we'll talk to Ralston, So little more.
Yeah, man. Bless up, brother.
Bless up, man. One love. Caribbean Radio HD, good evening. You know, I want to say something to the people on Caribbean Radio, because as a new kid on the block, me no like how I'm being treated as a new kid on the block. Mama Joy, Sister Tanya, Sister Paula Miller, good evening. Melrose. There's a telethon going on Caribbean Radio HD, and I meet her back. I send some money for me now. I know it got more than me. Servant David, may I beg you put up the number where them can send the money to the telethon for me. Because if you don't like me show, if you don't like what me I do, send something to the telethon and put Colin Bell side right. Bro G, Sister Sandra, when you don't get it, please let me know. Because when me get for you understand that I me that back at the class. Me that back at the class. And the telethon are go on. And everybody a juggle well left me, because all of the other presenters, them understand the telethon more than me. So, Mama Joy, send something for me, Sister Paula. Send something to the telethon for the Colin Bell show. Please and thank you. So, Ralston, Wagwan. Wagwan Rally.
In March of this year compared with March
turn up rally
year and February.
Yeah.
We also see for the first time in a long time the value of the consumer and food import bill for the first 11 months of last year was way ahead of what we got from our total exports of goods and services. We see the remittance flows are shrinking because of what is happening in the US. And we see that the tourism earnings are also flattening because of what is happening in the US. And the people are more desperate than ever. We saw the dollar, since Donald Trump announced his tariff, and since we haven't gotten any poor response from the government, apart from the foolishness that they had all been saying a while ago, the dollar has been depreciating every single day since that, despite every central bank intervention. Last week, it was $90 million US, 27 billion Jamaican dollars mopped up. Yesterday, Friday, we saw another 8 billion being mopped up, and we see 3 instruments coming out next week to continue the same process, because the dollar is under significant pressure because of the poor response of the government in relation to what is happening internationally. We also have the worst finance minister that has ever gone down to the Ministry of Finance in the history of Jamaica.
So you are classifying Favour Williams as the worst finance minister
ever in the history of Jamaica.
And you just gave us all the symptoms to say that the Jamaican economy is in a recession a while ago. What are the symptoms or what are the checks that you have used to now recognize Favour Williams as the worst finance minister?
Well, since she has gone down to the ministry, she has not made any statement that is confidence inspiring. First, she told us about the nonsense about throw boxes. Then, despite the crisis that is taken internationally, she said the major objective of macroeconomic policy is to bring the debt to GDP ratio down to 60% so that we can borrow at more affordable rates in an environment where international interest rates are going up because of what is happening with the dollar. The dollar is inflating the global economy, and she's still saying that we are going to continue on the same track that Niger Clark left so that we can get more money to borrow, rather than saying that we're going to shift emphasis now and focus on production and export so that we do not have to borrow so much in a world that it is going to become more difficult to borrow. There was also a town hall meeting constituency that we should have attended that you take and she failed to attend. There's also the argument about one company to negotiate with to conduct the debate with Julian Robinson. And there's also the experience on her side where the speaker have to be handling her like a child in parliament every time she makes a presentation. That is pathetic.
No. So if you look at her as the worst finance minister, how do you classify the Prime Minister's statement talking about the economy is stable and we are lying?
Well, the Prime Minister is the one who is lying. The Prime Minister was on the road the other day saying that we're not borrowing when they were borrowing every day. Right now, if you look at the Bank of Jamaica's website, and his friends them and his supporters can look at the Bank of Jamaica's website and see the three instruments that will be open next week.
So next week, the government will be borrowing from Jamaicans.
More.
From Jamaicans, locally.
Yep. And every time, again, this is another thing, every time they float an instrument. Last week they wanted 20 billion from a CD.
Yeah.
They got 66 billion.
So investors, that should say to us that investors are not really investing. They are now preferably buying government papers.
And they do that when they have no confidence. They are running for safety. If they have confidence, they'll be investing those things in goods and services. They are now running for safety.
So Dan Anderson came out the other day with a poll that says business confidence is down. Speak to us about that.
Well, I told you from in December that what they were doing, it was a political decision on the part of Metro Shiaga and his friends to tell the people that there was confidence, because if there was confidence, they wouldn't be investing, giving the Bank of Jamaica so much money to lock up in the vault.
Right.
At that time, we were saying that the economy was in a recession, and how could investors be confident in a recession? No, because they never wanted to call it. They took a political decision because even Don himself said he couldn't understand what they were saying to him, but as opposed to, he has the obligation to publish the results. So we knew
what they said
that
to him.
That was. So we knew that was just fake, and so the evidence now, business confidence is down by a whopping 11.3 percentage points during the quarter ended just recently. So how could you drop from that high levels of confidence in December and then by March you're down in a tunnel?
Is it your opinion, Ralston, that members of the administration would have called business people and asked them to say that you are confident in the economy, so that result came out last year? Or
that's part of it, and the members of the leading business community, they are not operating independently. They have aligned themselves with the current administration, just like the people in the US.
But we heard one businessman came out the other day, I can't remember his name right now, and said that this is the worst he has ever seen the economy.
That's a very objective person. That's somebody I know a long time. Omar Azan.
Right.
He was the former president of the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, completely different from the one that we have now.
But nobody challenged him. You realize, Ralston, that nobody opened their mouth.
Because Omar Azan is a stalwart in this business. Yeah.
Omar Azan came out and said that as a businessman, this is the worst he has ever seen it. And nobody, not one person, not one of them can challenge Omar Azan when he said that the Jamaican economy is in the worst state that he has ever seen it. We're going to open the phone lines. 804-7072, 305-654-7944. And a lot of people are wondering, why is it that we can come here and put all this on the table and the GLP trolls can't call? We don't screen our phone calls. In fact, the 305-654-7944 is straight out of the Caribbean radio studio. That number. So I don't see who is calling. I don't know the numbers. So we take calls from anyone. All we ask is that you be respectful and be truthful, because this is not a vlogging program or a blogging program. This is mainstream radio, and it's also here on social media. So I am not a blogger nor a vlogger. Sister Cynthia Thompson, please contribute to the telethon for me. Because, as me say, as a new kid on the block at Caribbean Radio, April is telethon month on Caribbean Radio. And it's the first I am being a part of it. So I don't really understand it. So me I said to the item who every Tuesday and Wednesday tune in to the Colin Bell show. A lot of message. Sometimes Rogie send me some of the messages that people are loving the show. I am asking to don't make me come last in the telethon. Not because we new. Show me some love and contribute to the Caribbean Radio Telethon on my behalf. Right, Sister Cynthia? So, people can out there and say we're telling lies. And they abuse us because we are not talking the way they want us to talk. But because we have the information and we arm ourselves with the information, they can't come challenge us. And sometimes I see in the Caribbean Radio chat room where people are saying that we want to hear from the labor right them. No, they can't come. I have told you on this program that truth and the labor rights them have no lot in our part. So they can't come. And when the Prime Minister go out there and tell you that the economy is doing well, he will not sit down with a Colin Bell or a Ralston, not going to Conrad O'Brien. Because we, as broadcasters and as patriotic Jamaicans, we are going to ask him the questions. Because one of the questions we want to ask the Prime Minister, how I'm so lucky that the bank made mistake and give him US dollars when it was supposed to be Jamaican dollars. How I'm so lucky. We want to ask the Prime Minister how you get a $50 million loan from Berita using a house as the collateral when at the time the house was not in the company's name where I used borrow the loan. Using stocks that you never buy yet. We have questions for the Prime Minister. Oh, thank you so kind, Sister Cynthia Thompson. Thank you so kind, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, we will ask the questions. We will ask the Prime Minister, why is it as a Prime Minister you are doing so many personal business? Because I've said it here before that I don't believe a Prime Minister should be doing any personal business while in office. When a Prime Minister is in office, he should be just looking about the country's business. And therefore, those personal business that the Prime Minister was doing while in office, we don't think that's appropriate. Because as Prime Minister, you will get preferential treatment. And therefore, we don't think that is fair. Because I always tell people, Sister Cynthia, that all men are not equal. I hear people tell you about all men are equal in the sight of God. No. The Bible tell you, say, God having chosen people. The Bible also tell you that if you live right, God will treat you different. Bible tell us that God will tear down the wicked. When them fall, you will see it. So everybody not equal. In no way, shape, or form. And the more powerful you are, you get more preferential treatment. Brother Bailey. Brother Bailey. Brother Bailey. You sending anything in the Teleton for me yet, sir? Sending a thing in the Teleton for the Colin Bell show. Thank you, Brother Bailey. Sister Tanya. Sister Tanya. Sending something at the Teleton for the Colin Bell show. Yeah, man. So, I have said it, and I am confident that no prime minister, and, a brethren of mine went further. Him say, no sitting member of parliament should be in the house hustling and juggling. No. And me agree. Because, you see, when you're a member of parliament, you are privy to a lot of information. And people will use those information to basically make the kind of decision that they will use. No, sir. People will make the kind of, use that information to make the kind of decision that will give them the advantage over the average Jamaican to do business. And therefore, when you are a member of parliament or prime minister, certain things you should leave until you come out of the politics. If you never do it before you go into the politics, you shouldn't use your position as MP and do the business to get ahead. That is unfair advantage. And therefore, when you look at the SSL saga, thank you, Brother Bailey. Thank you, sir. Obi?
Hello?
Conrad O'Brien, the fireman, Wagwan.
Where's the papa?
But there I talk to the people them because some people don't understand why the GLP they can't call and challenge us when we are on our platform and talking the way we talk, because what we are talking is the truth, and they don't understand why the GLP can't call you and challenge you, why they don't call me and challenge me, why they don't call Ralston and challenge Ralston, but at the same time there are people on platforms saying that we are liars. Why they can't challenge you, Obi?
Well, because what we're saying is girded in fact, Colin, and what happened is that we provide whatever we talk about. There are monuments that are standing up in front of you, or when we refer to things like the fact that the Jamaica economy was at one point had a debt to GDP ratio of 262%. Debt to GDP. Those are things that they can go and identify. We are not making up these stories. But when we talk about the last time that they on the JSD, when the PNP took off office, the economy shrunk by 5 percentage points. Those are not lies we are telling. Those are things that are there.
And that the NRI went down from $2.5 billion to $1 billion under Bruce Golding.
Indeed, and also And also, if we want to go further, we can say it was a negative what? Negative, how much it was when Omar took, when Omar took it?
When we took office in
When we took it?
1989, the NIR
Yes.
was minus $500 million US.
And everybody knows, Colin, that the hardest thing to do is to dig yourself out of the hole and then start to build. Once you start to build, then you have a multiplier that allow you to build much faster.
Exactly.
So the NIR is about 5 billion now, but it was much easier
to build.
It was much harder, much more difficult to get out of that $500 million deficit and to bring it
but
to
hold
a
on.
positive approach.
Obi, it wasn't just that the NIR. The NIR was minus 500 million, and the debt to GDP, as you just mentioned, was 262%.
Absolutely.
So the country was in a dilemma.
Absolutely. So what we do, Colin, because somebody called me since evening, and may her soul be blessed. Such a beautiful young lady. I-B-O-B-O.
Take your time. Tell her.
So, you know, she went onto one of the jail play platform just after I came up.
Yeah.
And she said, that is my name. They were over there and Colin.
Yes.
And they're calling me the boy. The boy. So I said, boy, we'll do the talk show. So somebody said,
and that's the point, Obi. And that's the point. What they do, they call us names and they cuss us out, but they can't challenge with argument. And that's why I'm saying to the people on Caribbean Radio, because I saw last week somebody in the chat room on Caribbean Radio say, we want to hear from the GLP them. We want to hear. You're not going to hear from them because they can't challenge the argument. When you lay down the truth, there's no rebuttal.
Right. I'll tell you something. A guy that I know by the name of Patrick Taylor, you know, somebody that I had on my program before, you know, say that he is an analyst. And I give him the opportunity to come on and talk and so on. He's really a hard-nosed labor man, you know, chair some of the JLP conferences them and so on. But as you know, Colin, we deal with fair play, so we allow people to speak. So I had him on my program several times. So on Saturday, I was on a TikTok live, and I must tell you that TikTok live, Colin, got almost 60,000 likes.
Yes.
You know, and was quite massive.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came on. First of all, he came on and said, boy, I never really come on, you know. But I scroll through and whatever. So I said, well, fine, you're here. So what's on your mind? Him start to say, boy, him start to accuse me of this, that, and so on. So I say, all right, fine, let's not shoot the messenger. Let's deal with the message.
Yes,
Mr.
come
Can
to the
you
message.
tell me one thing that I said that is lie? You don't know truth, and start to abuse me. So I simply say to my moderator and in the space, get rid of him. Because I will allow you, Colin, to come and speak. But if you're going to come and start to abuse me, then we're going to have to part company, because I can't bring you on a platform that I have jurisdiction over to come and abuse me. It's like me having invited my host to come kill me.
Right. We can't. I mean, as I said to people, you know, if you're coming to deal with the argument that we are laying down, I welcome you. Just come with respect and honesty, because we pride ourselves on the truth. That's where we pride ourselves on, you know. We don't pride ourselves on being no balance. The truth.
Absolutely, and that's why we tell people that we speak truth to power, no matter who the guy is. And that is why we don't shirk from saying that, listen, the JLP is the government now. So we are basically putting them under the spotlight. And we go further by saying to the PNP and Marky G that here what happened. Whenever you come in, which we are sure as the night fall the day,
you are
that the
going
PNP
to be under the spotlight.
that my God, that as the night for the day, that the PNP will form the next government and Mark Jefferson Golden will be prime minister. We're serving notice, Colin. Then
Yes.
we will put them under the spotlight.
We're
not afraid.
I tell you something, Obi. You know where I stood a couple months ago as the candidate for East Portland. Some of the people who resent my candidacy did that because during that 18 years when the PNP was in power, I used to be a talk show host just the same. And I asked the tough questions and I put them under the spotlight, and some people were very uncomfortable with me.
Colin, I tell you this, and I just want people to just understand the body of work that we do. Some time ago, it was a part of an excerpt from my program. I think it was in my Conrad State, my opening commentary. And I was critiquing the PNP shadow cabinet at the time. And I said that, listen, based on the fact that there's so much going on within the crime portfolio, Peter Bunting can issue a statement every week. And I said, based on how Peter was behaving at the time, he was as dead as a doornail.
I remember.
A beating for it, but I did it nonetheless. A guy can run the mouth and things like that, but come test me on the facts.
Yes, Rasta.
Right? That's why we are not afraid to point to the Jamaican people and to tell them that over the last 9 years, not one school no belong to the wellness administration.
Talk to me.
And we can point out the amount that was built under the PNP administration. We're not afraid. The concrete and steel did not blow away.
Exactly.
It was damaged by not hurricane. What the other one name?
Earthquake.
Earthquake. They're still there.
They're still standing. And that's why when we come and we say that the economy is in dire straits, we're not afraid because the figures are there. You know, a little man said to me the other day, a little man, he's a hard-nosed labor, as you put it. Me and him used to talk the politics together. We didn't talk for quite some time. He called me the other day and he said, but the economy is doing good. And I said to him, how are we now as it relates to our debt to GDP? He said, I don't really know about that. I said, but you have to start this if we're going to talk about the economy. You have to know numbers. Yeah. You can't talk about the economy if you don't know the numbers. Yeah. Because it is the numbers that point you to whether we're doing good or bad.
Thank you very much, sir.
I said to him, are we in a recession? He said, no. I said, how you know that? He said, the Prime Minister says so. I said, what determines if a country is in a recession? I said, Shaka, I'm not going at them the detail. I said, but if you're not going at them the detail, you can't be out there talking and you don't go in at the detail. You can't just be a fallbacker. You cannot just be a fallbacker.
We use a simple little term, basic econ to deal with that. We say you cannot just be talking from the seat of your pants. And it's not just about economic matters alone. It's about other things. You have to get yourself up on the curb in order to really and truly discuss certain matters. And I find that a lot of people suffer from, a lot of the people on the JLP side, they suffer from that deficit. And they are just about abusing. And that is why the Prime Minister finds himself in this present hot water.
Hold on a little bit.
People are saying that the Prime Minister referred to the people as dogs.
Hallelujah. Hold on a little bit, Conrad. You see that argument? That argument where you the Prime Minister talk about like a dog running down a car or bicycle. Hey, this Prime Minister is the biggest pirate. When we say pirate, we mean imitate people, you know. You know, so that is an argument that PJ Patterson used against Eddie Siaga. But he never said the GLP. He said Eddie Siaga. I remember one election here, he was calling for the election. PJ Patterson said Edward Siaga is like a dog running down a car. And when the car stop him, don't know what to do with it. Because Eddie was calling for the election. And PJ said, but every time you call for your election, I'm going to give you lose. So a PJ lyrics. But I want to also say to the Prime Minister, you know,
I was saying to somebody just as recently as yesterday.
I want to say to the Prime Minister.
As a matter of fact, I said it to Senator Lambert Brown.
Speech your lyrics. But I want to say to him, you know how much little picnic I ride them back.
PJ uses in a different context. PJ was lamb-based in the entire PNP.
PJ dealt with Mr. Siaga. Is Mr. Siaga alone PJ dealt with that way? But he called the entire PNP.
Yes, and it was a particular analogy that suit the particular time.
Exactly.
Suit the narrative because he pointed to the reason why he was able to say it.
But hold on, Conrad. You know how much little picnic get broken, chip up, lick out teeth because them are riding bicycle and dog run out on them?
Yeah, man, I know that.
Let me take a call. 804-7072. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Turn off your instrument in the background. That's not going to work.
Already, man.
All right, go right ahead.
Sir. How are you doing, sir?
We're good enough. Conrad O'Brien is on the other line.
I just want 2 minutes with you. I don't want no more than that.
Go right ahead.
You know what I hate the most? And I see you pointing it out, and you're doing what the PNC should have done many moons ago. The People's National Party allowed the JLP to spin all sorts of narrative without fact-checking them. And the greatest thing that has happened lately is when PJ Patton came out and started to say, let us set the record straight.
Yes.
That's the greatest thing that could have ever happened. And that's what needed to be done because the PNP allowed the propaganda to gather and make it seem as if it's truth when we can look to the relevant places and you see the data to show that what they have been saying for the whole many years have not been so. And
people are now saying, don't just come tell we know. Come with the data because the PNP is presenting the data. Like when Damian Crawford went into the Senate and said, I checked the Jamaica Library Service. And Norman Washington Manley is the father of Portmore becoming a dormitory community.
I got one better. Norman Washington Manley is also the father of Negril.
Yes,
many places.
yes. Because remember them saying that build house in a swamp.
Exactly, when that road was being built, they said the man building a road to nowhere. The information is there, you know. We just need to read, you know.
Yes.
The information is there, you know. You need to sit down and just sit down and read. Don't listen to anybody I say. Just go read for yourself.
Yes. And hold on, caller. It's a little easier now too. You can Google it, you can talk to the phone and say, tell me this. And the phone will just tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that the PNP has started to push back and started to say, no, you don't get to rewrite the history. These are the facts.
Yes.
As we always said, you're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts.
Your own facts.
Continue to do the good job.
Blessings. Sister Monica, good evening. DJ Shane, good evening. And thank you, Brother Bailey, Caribbean Radio HD, we're live. Obi, respond to that caller.
Yeah, man, and that is the reason. That is the reason why they came out at PJ Patterson so viciously. An entire, not a one program, not a one broadcast on the station. An entire station went up to PJ Patterson, and people like yourself and me, Colin, and others, we were able to come out and we dissect the argument and we blow it out of the water. For example, when a guy dared to call PJ the murder prime minister, when Bruce Golden is the father of the highest murder rate in Jamaica by virtue of the stint that he spent there, and second in the pecking order is Andrew Holness. Who dared him?
Yes, man, and the data was put front and center out there.
Front and center, and we commend you, Colin, because you know we did the calculation.
Yes,
you're on my program with it. You're on your program. We're all over the place, and we basically put that out there, and that is why I said, you know, even today on radio, and I said to my listeners that it is such a good thing. No, you can't mainstream radio doesn't work without social media now. Social media. You have to have social media to complement, because what I find is that a number of people want the information, but a lot of them are on social media. So you have to basically use what you have and dovetail. And that is why now advertisers, I remember talking to a young lady, I don't remember if it's Proven she work or if she's at Proven or at JMB, and she said to me that what happened when they're buying now, they're buying social media alongside the mainstream media,
Yes.
because that they recognize that that is the reach. That is the reach. So when you hear, for example, I will on and I keep on repeating to say, boy, follow, join the Conrad O'Brien, Conrad OB TikTok page and so on. It's not anti the broadcasting. It is the kind of broadcasting that are basically carrying the world now.
And reaching everybody wherever they are.
Absolutely.
Want to say good evening. Hold on, Conrad. Let me say good evening to Sister Anne-Marie Graham, watching over there in Bermuda. Caribbean Radio TV, Caribbean Radio, good evening, 305-654-7944. Good evening, welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yeah, man, a 40 flat,
40 flat.
Up in a cool, yes, time. Yeah, man. Me the same thing where the Virginia talk about the Prime Minister, the dog, I mean, I say, wait a while, I just saw rich.
The Prime Minister is getting desperate.
Is this Vervine?
Remember when Siaga did say, if you any black tissue,
The black scandal bag. Is your name Vervine? Conrad is asking if it's Vervine.
No, man.
I've been from Portmore.
When Siaga did say,
no, man, this man is from Senton, up in the cool hills at Senton.
Okay, all right, cool. Sounds a lot like one of my caller, Vervine. All right, good. Mm-hmm.
Near 9 miles. Near 9 miles.
9 Mile. Don't have Bob Marley place.
Yeah, near Bob Marley place.
Talk to me. Where are you now?
Yeah, man. I say, the Prime Minister, they talk about the dog. You understand me? I mean, I want to make a speech. I want to be careful. I'm be careful what I say. You understand me? Because, yeah, I did say, if you ever see any white tissue, any black tissue, you understand? 9 speech one day.
Oh.
And that's when blow the Jamaican mind, you understand? They call the Jamaican black tissue. You understand? They call it tissue. You understand me? Yeah.
Well, but, you see, desperation is showing, Carla.
Yeah?
Desperation is showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. All right. Big up yourself.
You know, Colin, another thing that's really taken over by storm now, and a lot of our people were not aware. And of course, you know that, beard is certainly in vogue right now, right? And that is why I hail Mark Golden as a man who say, listen, I ain't not going ball off my face for suit no guy. I am wearing my beard and I'm proud of it. So beard is in vogue. But yes. I tell you something. What we saw, the anniversary of that massacre down there in St. James,
Yes.
St. James.
The Carroll Garden massacre.
Absolutely, and a lot of people are now recognizing that, listen, even if you're not a Rastafarian by religion, but the mere fact that you wear locks or you wear a beard, it is going to be very hard.
But hear this.
Knowing these things for you to cast a vote for the Jamaica Labour Party.
Obi.
Yeah.
Any Rasta man who goes to a political meeting and at the end of it, sing Stand Up Jamaica. When you hear the bell, remember Bustamante serves us well, is a traitor. Any Rasta man who sing that song.
Well, Colin, as I said just now, I am not even going to say Rasta man, you know. I broaden it. Because when had it been no, you would not be able to differentiate. Once you have on locks,
yes.
or you wear a beard, they came for you.
Yes.
They came for you.
I had a
You
caller.
understand?
I had a caller on last week. I don't remember if it's Wednesday or Tuesday. And he was telling us about what Buster Man said that anybody who look like a ram goat must bring them in.
And you know, Colin, I don't know if you play that clip. I have the clip to you. It must be in your position. I think I sent it to you. That's a clip that was done by our sister on IRA FM. Her program where no, it's not just somebody saying that, boy, this was what the man was saying. He was there. He was one of the 35 persons in one cell.
I listened to an interview, and there was also one with a lady who told us.
Colin, do you have that clip?
Hold on.
You need to play it.
Hold on, Conrad. Hold on, caller. I listened to an interview on Irie also, where a Rasta lady was saying that she had to wrap up her kingman in a sponge and lean him up on the wall for the police them to find him, you know. She had to take off the sponge off of the bed, wrap up her husband in the sponge, tie him up and lean him up on the wall, make it look like it's just sponge lean up there.
Yeah, man. In order to protect our kingman, brethren.
We have a caller. Let's take the caller. Go ahead, caller.
Can you find that clip, Colin?
Yeah, man. Blessings, man.
Oh, hold on. You had said it to me, you said, Obi?
I think so, but I'm trying to retrieve it.
And send it to me again. Go ahead, caller, in the meantime.
Yeah, man. Blessings, man. And
welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Always respect the people them who deal with the truth.
Yes.
Sometimes whether the truth upon your side or not.
Yeah, man. The truth is just the truth.
People don't understand what evil and lie and them thing they do. Because lie and evil. The book say evil begat more evil.
Yes.
So if they one you did speak the truth, then you can get relaxation and relief. But when you start being dishonest now and start tell lie now, then it bring you to a path.
One lie lead to another,
My granny always say, thief and liar walk together.
Yes.
Watch me. It end up, if you're looking at the world psychology, I look for murder too. Because if we go over there for go thief something and then maybe there's somebody where really you know want to see them, then maybe you end up killing.
Yeah.
You understand? So as you say evil and crime, and the book say evil begat evil.
Yes.
You see, remember one time with PJ Pattis did I tell about thing their attitude.
Values and attitude.
All right. We becomes a time now in this country. Made it look funny in the time where the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know the cost of everything, but we know the value of nothing. in the pandemic, we find say we have money sometime and you can't spend it. You can't go buy where you want and where you really want, like food, you want water.
Yes.
You want certain things, and it's like your money can't help you because you can't move. You understand?
Yes.
So food and water is more valuable more than gold and silver.
Of course.
Or your money.
Of course.
See me say your money, your chain, your big chain or your car or whatsoever, it can cost more than food and water, you know.
Yeah.
But food and water is more valuable. So
yes.
It's a fool. Guy selling water for money, you know.
Talk to me.
It's a fool. Guy sell in food. If are the only food, remember the book tell you about all Esau and in brother. You
Jacob.
see if
yeah.
them time the man is strong, you know.
Yes.
And you go over hill and valley to go on too much days. So when you're trying near and you come back, him have him birthright.
Yes.
But tell me now, if him dead for hungry that day, they tell me how value is in birthright to him.
So that to sell his birthright.
Yeah, man, the man say give me the food, man. Take your birthright and go on. And be dead for hungry.
Yeah.
You understand?
You can't live without food.
Next day.
You can't live without food.
Yeah. So back to the values and attitude thing. You see, in a Jamaica now, we want to sell everything and sell anything. Yeah, so we not on a value, we not on a standard. Yeah, you have people, where then we do certain thing, but certain thing them not do it. Certain people we compromise to certain level. But if a certain thing you make them yeah walk up, why don't say you mad? Yeah, virgin man, but you mad. Or you understand them not cross certain lines, so them have standard, them have values. So you see the Rasta them now where say them are go support them a bust the Buster party. Me don't even say Buster, say Mr. Clark.
Because him to change him name, no? Caller? We lost that caller. Caller?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You said Buster did change him name to Mr. Clark? Or a Clark was his
No,
original
Buster
name?
name is Mr. Clark. And in change his name to Alexander
His
Clark.
name was William,
Change his name to Buster
William
Manti.
Alexander
We know
Clark.
say when woman married man, then the woman get the man last name.
Yeah.
We don't know about no name or transfer and the prime minister, they had no kids,
They
have no offspring.
Buster never have no offspring, no?
No, and I heard you have from them time they have a secret service. So me hear member Secret Service I discuss one time say they slept in separate rooms. I don't know if it's true or lie, but them say him used to be a bellboy on a ship and the captain name was Buster Manti.
Little more.
More time he end up he could end up in the cabin and whatsoever.
Later.
And then
Later, caller. Big up yourself. Thanks for the info. I'm going to take a next call.
All right, hear me I say. Rasta no self-respect will support JLP. You have a thing when you self-respect.
Hold on, Obi wants to say something to you. Hold on. Obi,
no, man. Allow him to speak, Colin.
Yeah,
no, man.
All right, go ahead, caller. No, go ahead. Thought Obi wanted to say something to you.
You have a thing when you self-respect now. When you start look on a section, then once you start the certain thing, be a certain way, you have to lose that. You can't do that thing. You can't operate certain way.
Yes.
So if you with a Rasta or you claim to be a Rasta and you go support the JLP party, you have to dash way.
You have
self-respect. That means that you don't respect yourself anymore. Or you don't know the history. Or you have one of the qualities of most JLP supporters and it happening in the hierarchy where you see them becomes a result of freedom style, dunceness, literacy. You understand? A licky thing. So the dunceness are proved. They have proven the point even amongst themselves. So to be a JLP supporter, one of the criteria is being illiterate, dunce. Yeah, don't understand even simple, comprehensive argument. Cannot converse. You understand? Don't know comprehensive argument. Cannot converse. You understand? Don't know the definition of words. You understand?
All right, my brother. Enough respect. Here, give somebody else a chance.
Bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Obi, I see somebody. Hold on, Obi. Sam, hold on for me. Obi, I see somebody in the chat room saying that the Jamaica Labour Party built 25 new schools in the last 9 years. Please give me a call now, Ethic.
Okay.
Ethic
Straight. Tell him to give us the name of them. Tell him to give us the name.
Yes, Ethic Straight, please. List those schools for us.
Yeah, just list the schools.
Oh, me know them, Obi. Obi, me know them. 29 basic schools. 25 basic schools where they get from food for the poor. 25 basic schools that they got from food for the poor. Yes. So, yeah, man. Ethic Straight, 25 basic school that they got from food for the poor, right? Go ahead, Sam.
Good evening, Mr. Bell and Mr. Brian. Do you remember that Buster Manti was Chief Minister of Jamaica from 1953 to 1955?
Talk to it. We are listening, man. Talk.
All right. The first time Buster Manti start kill Rastafari was 1954.
Sorry. Call and Colin.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute. I'm going to come off. I'm just trying to get something up and then I will just call back.
Not a problem, Obi.
Right?
Not a problem.
Good. Let me
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, in 1954, Bustamante went to Pinnacle, where Leon Howell, a 500 Rasta brethren, was planting ganja and preaching Rastafarian.
About Pinnacle.
And he killed most of them, send them to prison.
You sure
So
about this,
was
Sam?
exporting ganja and preaching false doctrine. 1954.
1954.
Most people figure that is.
Me don't know about that.
Most people.
Me I go tell you straight.
Look.
Me I go tell you straight. Me no. Yeah, there's something
All right,
about Pinnacle. Hold on. There's something I come back about Pinnacle. I remember, but me don't remember the full story. But yeah, there's a Pinnacle story.
I just Google Leon Howell.
Talk to me.
Pinnacle in 1954, right?
What name?
He was the first Leon Howell.
Hold on.
Right?
Leon Howell.
Right?
Pinnacle, 1954.
Yeah, just look at it. Right? That was the first time.
Let me tell you what me find. Let me tell you what me find. Leon Howell, the unforgettable father. Hold on, I can open it and tell you where me find. Because I just show no right here so people how it's easy if you do the research. Leon Howell, the unforgettable father of Rastafari, 1954. And you see the pictures of Pinnacle. Yeah, man. Hold on. Go on talk now, Sam. Let me bring up more.
Yeah. All right. If Boston wanted to destroy him, prison him, said that he was preaching false doctrine and exporting ganja. Right? That's the first time Boston was the attack Rastafarian.
Talk to me. History lesson.
And then when Siaga, Tivoli Garden, Siaga come back after 1962 and do the same thing down at Tivoli Garden. And when most of the Rastafarians from there want to go Bull Bay. That's where Boston Siaga take over the land of and build Tivoli Garden. If you figure out those history.
So Pinnacle is that a Bobo Hill, right?
No, no. Pinnacle where 500 Rastafarian and the whole win was live. And Boston one went up there and destroyed the place. Right? You have to get a book, man. There's a book. They are not right. Right? And there was an interview one of Bob Marley's granddaughter. Right? Did a documentary on it.
I am going to find it,
right?
Because the present Prime Minister like to tell young Jamaicans that they don't know the history. And a lot of young Jamaicans need this part of the history to come forward. So, because since the Prime Minister is talking about digging up the history, then we have to dig up the history and tell people about the history.
So most people who talk about Coral Garden, they don't talk about Pinnacle and Tivoli Garden.
Because a Rasta used to live at Tivoli Garden, don't?
Yeah, and Sierra went on there and beat them and run them out of Tivoli Garden. And they want to go bull them. So some of them want to go to the Bull Bay in the bush.
Oh.
Right?
Then up the Bobo Hill.
And so they want to run so long before Bobo.
No, but
that's how Rasta them run go Bull Bay.
Up there so they call Bobo Hill now.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
That way I say.
Right. And
the settlement was called Pinnacle because of its high hilltop elevation, and the residents became self-sufficient farmers. Oil influence spreading outside of the Pinnacle, and Rastafari communities were set up across the country. The original Rasta camp were also regularly raided. Yeah. By police and as a governing class. May I find it. That was
Boston 1954.
1954, Boston invaded Pinnacle.
Yeah.
History lesson.
And then So people are going to talk about Coral Gardens, right?
Hold on, Sam.
People got
Hold on,
Coral
Sam. Hold
Gardens
on.
president.
Hold on, Sam. Let me just welcome back the listeners on Caribbean Radio HD. You're listening to the Colin Bell Show on Caribbean Radio. And I want to say to the people on Caribbean, to the Colin Bell Show on Caribbean Radio. And I want to say to the people on Caribbean Radio, I am the newest presenter, or one of the newest presenter on Caribbean Radio. And therefore, the telethon that is on, me get to understand, say, me get the least contribution in the telethon and not become new. Me I beg on some love. Put something at the telethon to the Colin Bell Show. Bro G, Sister Sandra, let me know what is happening for me. Because, yeah, my sister, me get 1 or 2 this evening, and I'm asking for a few more this evening. Make the Colin Bell Show count in the telethon on Caribbean Radio HD. Also want to remind the listeners and viewers that my social media angle, Portland Spice TV at YouTube. I'm asking you to check out my YouTube channel. Give me a subscribe, give me a like, give me a share. I am on my way to 5,000 subscribers. So I'm seeking your assistance and we're seeking some ambassadors. Also, I'm on TikTok at Colin Shakafim Bell at TikTok. This is the Colin Bell Show live on Caribbean Radio HD. We are on every Tuesday and Wednesday, 5 to 7 in the United States of America, 4 to 6 in Jamaica, 10 to 12 in the UK. Sam, you're on.
Yeah, some people forgot those 2 places.
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle and Tivoli.
And Pinnacle. Because the Rastas were chased out of Tivoli.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's how Tivoli built.
What them used to call Tivoli before it named Tivoli?
I think it was what name
Anabakawal.
It was a B. I think Bakawa. So I don't remember the name. Yeah. But Colin Bell, I don't know Colin Bell, and a lot of people are talk because those 2 places about Rasta. So I me tell you something. Then they come again the next morning, Reverend Henry, right? Who take on the monkey of Leonowell.
Yeah.
Right? And Shira attacked them to come here 2 uncles who went to prison, right? For ganja and a Leonowell on the bus and a Shira.
Well, you see, that thing for people going to prison for a small amount of ganja must stop now. Hold on for me, Sam. Hold on. 305-654-7944 Caribbean Radio HD. Good evening. Caribbean Radio, good evening.
Hello, Mr. Bell. Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Welcome to the show.
Sister Sandra Bennett here.
Hey,
you
Sister
keep on saying, brother, you keep on saying Brother Gary and Sister Sandra. It's Sister Sharon.
Sister Sharon, my apologies. My apologies.
Yes.
But you have a you see like how you call now and correct me. That will cost you $50 to the telethon.
All right, I'm going to send it, but not today.
It costs you $50.
But I'm gonna definitely send it to Brother Gary.
Please
and
do.
Tell Brother Gary say it's yours.
It's for the Colin Bell Show. It costs you for the.
Yes.
I thank you for the correction, but you have to pay for.
Let Brother Gary tell you. Oh, you have to charge the comrade. They can't charge the comrade now.
Yeah, then the comrade now have to support the comrade. One comrade to another.
Labor right love begging, you know. So you know what? You have to sit on the
No,
right.
this is not a begging, you know. This is not a begging. This is a support for support. And contributing to the movement.
Beg to support.
All right, I hear you. Thank you. Munchie!
All right.
Munchie! Send something at the telethon for me there, Munchie. All right, thank you. Thank you. And my apologies, Sister Sharon. My apologies. I'm mixing you up and calling you Sandra, but Bro Gary and Sister Sharon, good evening, Tono. Yes, Sam, back to you.
Yes, Mr. Bell, as I wrap up now.
Yes.
I send you an article. We are finding a news in the Caribbean News Network. Right? I send you an article in your WhatsApp.
Yeah.
About what the silent thing where the Minister of Health have done to the Jamaican people.
What's that?
That I send you look at your WhatsApp. I send you a news item. Just look at it.
All right. I will look at it, definitely.
All right. So have a great day, my brother. I don't know if Colin or Brian have that article. Can us ask him.
All right.
And what Mr. Felt have done to the Jamaican people. The silence. Right?
All right. I will check the article.
Yeah, man. All right. Have a great evening, my brother.
Munchidi in the chat room over Caribbean Radio. All right, let me get back. I'll call you back. Munchidi over Caribbean Radio. Thanks for the correction, but it will cost you $50 to Munchidi. So Munchidi, thank you for the correction. It is Sister Sharon, not Sister Sandra, and it costing you $50. Send it to Brother Garrett for the Teleton. Thank you very much. Let me get back to Conrad O'Brien so we can talk some more about what is happening in Jamaica. Yeah, man. Let me get back Conrad on the line. Sister Tanya. No, from me being on Caribbean Radio. Sister Tanya. Every evening, Mrs. Sister Tanya in the chat room. Sister Tanya, I appreciate you. And I am asking you to contribute to the Teleton, to the Colin Bell Show. Thank you very much. And because you're late for class, Sister Tanya, it costs you $25 to the Teleton for the Colin Bell Show. Yeah, Obi, welcome back.
You're on a roll this evening.
Yes, because the Caribbean Radio, they have a Teleton every April. And because I am one of the newest presenters, I never understand how the thing works. So when we get to understand now, say I'm at the back of the line in terms of the shows that they are contributing to. So me I charge everybody this evening to contribute to my show. So me not like stay at the back. No, me want to go to the front of the class. Me want to go to the front of the class.
All right, very, very, very well. Colin?
Yes.
All right, I sent you two clips. One of them is from Queen Africa. I know you have played that one before, but nothing is wrong with you refresh that. But I also sent you the one with the Rastafarian gentleman speaking to this is Williams. What's her name? She go by Ebo.
Cabo.
Cabo at IRA FM. So I sent you as the last one. It's Cabo. And the first one there, as you see, is Queen Africa. So,
all right. So the Queen Africa one, the Queen Africa one, we have exhausted that one. Right. So definitely the one with Kabul. Let me get that up. In the meantime, Obi, what are the latest on the chairman of the Integrity Commission to the GLP? I know she wrote to them. They wrote back to her, and I think she wrote back to them.
Yeah, I think we're waiting. The latest was basically to provide some evidence and so on, because she has not seen any evidence to show that the gentleman would be compromised in any way, shape, or form. So we are waiting to see how that will unfold and to see if the chairman or the leader in both houses of parliament on the government side.
But how do we...
to see if they will continue to double down on that.
Yeah, but how do we look at that, Obi, when we talk about Brian Winter, who is one of the chairman whose father was a senior GLP member?
Well, certainly, Colin, it's called disingenuous and hypocrisy at the highest level. And, you know, it's a similar thing. This is a replica. It's a kind of common thread, as it were, throughout the Jamaica Labour Party that we're seeing. When we look down in Montego Bay and we saw where young Vernon, the mayor there, is doing, which is really such a backward form of politics he's practicing, where he's removing all the PNP paraphernalia, billboards, etc., while he allows the Jamaica Labour Party on to stand. So it's the same. You could basically, as I said, the thread. Here is it. A person who have a school relationship with Dayton Campbell, he is not qualified and fit to serve on the Integrity Commission in any position. But at the same time, Brian Winter, who is the son of a former JLP senator, certainly spokesperson information. I don't remember if he was information minister as well. but he was a senator and a hard-nosed JLP man. Mr. Winter, Hector Winter. You know, he is there, and we can go further along the continuum, Colin. The Prime Minister's business partner,
well,
Mr. Brown.
We did talk about that earlier. Yes. Who is the head of the UDC?
Yes. So when we look at those things, Colin, it shows that, you know, the Jamaica Labour Party believe that they have a monopoly and how people who are affiliated to them should serve in position, but you can't support anybody else and get any position. But one would remember that no less a person than the man who is seeking to replace Carl Samuda now, which we gather that there's a big fight taking place up there.
Obi, hold on, don't get in that yet. Let's me take this call and then we go to that because that is the one that is trending. Go ahead, caller. Good evening. Welcome to Caribbean Radio HD.
Evening, Colin.
Yes, sir.
You know that comrade Dayton said the DPP was at the same wedding.
Me never hear that.
The same wedding of the gentleman.
Yeah.
That they're talking about Dayton Campbell. The DPP was at the same wedding.
But you'd accept that because this man is a lawyer.
But exactly.
And a lot of people
right?
don't.
So why they would have issue?
Hold on. A lot of people also don't know that Dayton Campbell also have a law degree.
Yeah. You understand? So I don't see the issue. I don't see the big issue.
You have to judge the man by his performance. And if you see, and like the chairman of the Integrity Commission said,
you see where I'm from, Colin?
Yeah.
Them always said, Jonin man, grab after straw.
Yes.
Good evening.
Bless you, my brother. DPP was at the wedding, so the man said, Conrad. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, man, I have. But you see, Colin, let me tell you something. One has to understand this, that, you know, Jamaica is a relatively small society. And what you find is that you'll find that people, sometimes you'll even be amazed at who you are related to.
Of course.
You're related to, you know, and all of those kind of things. So therefore, what we have to basically take to the bank or take with us is integrity. It's our integrity, because you have to bear in mind that take for example, the police. Let's look at the police, although people will badge on the police and say, listen, this and that. But the police, we hear it over and over, where the police arrest their own right there.
Yes.
And the premises of the police station.
Yes.
Whether it is because they're handing contraband into the cell, or a warder even is basically doing the same at the prison in the prison cell.
Definitely.
Granted, we know that a lot of those things fall through the cracks.
Yes.
But whenever they find out,
hold on, King. Finish up, Conrad. Go ahead, Conrad.
So all of these things, Colin, it underpin what undergird these issues, Colin, is your integrity. Take, for example, let's use you and I. If you heard, Colin, that I am there molesting a young girl,
you know, right? no part with I.
Colin, are you going to basically say, boy, Conrad, I'm a brethren, so me have to feel him? No,
you're mad.
You have exposed me.
You're mad. No.
And vice versa.
No. Let's go to the caller.
And vice versa.
Definitely. Caller, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, good evening to you, and good evening to your fellow panelists and to the viewers. Hey, Shaka.
Yeah.
You know what? We're in a deep predicament, Shaka. And I keep saying it. The people who are in power not standing up.
No.
This thing that they're talking about, the man in the DPP, that he has some affiliation with Dayton Campbell. Well, he has affiliation with him when they were in school.
They go school together.
And
no, they are still they are still friends. They are still friends.
No, they are still friends, but hold on. He's not him alone in that batch, you know.
No.
You're Matu Samuda in that batch.
Hold on. Break up. Tell her. You are saying that same batch that Dayton was a part of. Floyd Green was a part of that batch.
Floyd Green, Matthew Sumuda, all of them is friends. This not from my mouth. This is from Dayton mouth.
I don't know that Matthew was in
a
the
whole bunch of people who are currently serving was there at the man's wedding.
How will you say?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that Matthew was in the batch. Sorry, caller. Matthew may have been at the wedding, but in terms of the batch that they studied together, but Matthew would not be in that.
But Obi,
it's quite possible that Clyde Green would be there.
Hold on, but if Samuda was at the wedding, then I'm friend too. So
no. I'm agreeing with that. I'm just trying to put some clarity there to say I don't think that they studied together, but certainly, for you to be at somebody's wedding,
are your friend?
You must be his friend. You must be. Either you are the bride's friend or the bridegroom's friend.
Right. Yeah. You don't go to a wedding because you hear say it a hot man. You just show up.
No.
Okay.
You go by invitation.
Yes, it's not a funeral. It's not a funeral or a setup.
So we can establish that they are friends,
yes,
or associates.
Yes.
But what should be more troubling to Jamaica people is that Andrew's business partner, who heads the UDC, this man is in a conflict of interest position.
Yeah, man.
That is more serious because the man is operating a business for Andrew Wallace.
Yes. And his son.
Also operating a business for the government, and he was put in the position by Andrew Wallace, knowing that they're business partners.
Colin and Carla, it is so nice, Colin. Well, I address you on this call. It is so nice listening to the callers, here and elsewhere, that they really turn up to the party. And
yes,
Colin, what this shows, it shows, Colin, that our work not falling on stony ground.
Not at all.
Because when we disseminate the information, we're seeing where the people are going there, doing their own research. They are
coming up,
understanding what is happening.
Yes.
And I think that's exactly what we want. We want an informed society. We want people to know exactly what time it is. And indeed, Colin, I must say kudos to the people. The people really and truly turning up. And Colin, this is the same kind of cry out that we want to hear from the people in so many other ways. For example, even the constitutional reform.
And that's why, Obi, that's why I am warning analog politician that this is the digital age. Hold on, Obi, we have a caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yes, man, go ahead.
I heard you talking a while ago about the NIR.
Yeah.
The minus 500 million in 89.
Yes.
Well, I want to remind you about when the Bank of Jamaica ran out of money in the 80s. You remember that one?
Go again.
The Bank of Jamaica ran out of foreign exchange. And what they had to do was the businessmen in Montego Bay had to pool together
and pay for the oil.
Yeah, because the ship came on the wharf and the captain decided not to sell any oil to us unless him get paid. He had to be sure that there was money. So the businessmen in Montego Bay pooled up the money together, give it to a policeman, ride a bike to Kingston,
yes,
to the Bank of Jamaica, to get notation that they to carry back to Montego Bay for the man to release the oil off the ship.
Yes, I know the story. I know that story.
So I wonder if people realize that them sort of something used to happen in Jamaica. So when we hear this man talking about the foreign exchange and how well he's doing, we realize a myth.
Yeah, him joking.
Yeah, man, him joking.
Him joking, brother. Hold on. Christopher Campbell said, Colin, good afternoon. You know you are not that bright. When you are reduced to calling people names, but if Andrew wants to go there, then let him bring it on. Go ahead, caller. Or somebody saying, Conrad, that George Davis blocked them from nationwide station. Go ahead, caller.
The wedding that Dayton went, the DPP, they said was there, and there was certain high court judges that were at the same wedding.
The man is a lawyer. So what would you expect? Those are his friends. His friends, you're going to find that his friends are mostly people who are in the legal profession. So that's not strange.
But everything is strange to them, you know.
You see, hold on, let me tell you something. Anybody who goes to the Integrity Commission, these people are going to be worried. Because the Prime Minister and 7 others are under investigation for illicit enrichment. I also want to remind all of you, my listeners and viewers, that Prince Kamika, the former director of corruption prosecutor, in her first tour that she got on the Prime Minister, she said, and I quote, in the first and second account, I found enough to charge the Prime Minister. You remember that, Toby?
Yes, man, I do.
She said, I found enough to charge the Prime Minister. However, because of the passage of time, and let me also remind you that there was no statute of limitation, but she was saying because of the amount of time that has passed, she don't sure she could identify the weaknesses and all of that. It was the court that should have decided that. So she decided that she wouldn't charge the Prime Minister, even though, in her words, she found enough to charge him. So they are worried about who will be in the position of director of corruption prosecution because they are afraid that somebody might charge the Prime Minister.
You know, Colin, the fact of the matter, when the Integrity Commission was being set up on other bodies such as the Integrity Commission, it's not by any accident or willy-nilly that these people would have been given the kind of latitude, you know, to carry out their job and to act impartial, whoever the person is, you know. There's a very reason for that.
Yes.
The reason for that is because we want to reduce corruption as much as possible. And listen to my words carefully. I say reduce because I don't know that in any society at all you will be able to get rid of corruption entirely.
Totally.
But it is to reduce it. And in doing so, you want to put people there that will call it whoever the person is.
Yes,
right?
that's what we're looking for.
Whether it is PNP or JLP, whether it is Andrew or it is Mark, whether it is Tom or it is Jane, you know, that's the kind of scenario that the Integrity Commission should be operating on. And let's not fool ourselves, Colin. The similar charges that come up against the Prime Minister, it happened before. The Prime Minister did not take the Integrity Commission to court on behalf of that citizen of Jamaica or those citizens, right? So it was okay, and as a matter of fact, the Prime Minister came out and commended the Integrity Commission for the fine job they were doing at the time. But as soon as they moved against the Prime Minister, the whole complexion of everything changes.
But let's look at Conrad and Carla. Let's look at the record of the Integrity Commission. Who they have taken to court and lost?
Nobody.
Conrad? Who have the Integrity Commission taken to court or said they charge and lose?
All right. What happened? Bunting?
They didn't take Bunting to court.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that. I don't recall.
They had come out with a statement against Bunting and a similar statement against Bobby Montague. Bunting contested his. They went back, did some research, did more investigation, and come back and say, all right, Bunting, we realize that the man who you get the license. Yeah, these are the conditions, so we remove you. But they did not remove Bobby Montague.
Absolutely, because they actually asked Bobby to furnish them with the with evidence such as what Peter Bunting was able to do, and he could not.
So I say all of that. I say all of that to say this, that the Integrity Commission record is clean.
Impeccable.
The record of the Integrity Commission is clean.
Yes. You know, so it's important that we highlight these things, Colin. And it was an argument that Senator Marlon Morgan raised on my program the other day. And I had to basically share it because he came and said that which politician did the commission find any adverse traits against Bunting, and he wanted to basically drag Bunting's name, Peter Bunting's name, in the mud. And I had to correct him. I had to say, listen, Bunting had provided further and better particular to the IC, and he was indeed exonerated.
Yes.
On the other hand, Montague was not, because he could not provide the similar material or evidence for him to be exiled.
Even to this
so
day.
You're talking about cheese to chop there. Huh?
Definitely. Caller, you have something else?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't this year the 4th year that the Prime Minister declaration is going to be in problem?
This year will be the 4th year, yes.
So the question then, does the Prime Minister have the moral authority to lead this country?
Hold on, caller. You were saying, Conrad?
Is this Master Welder out of Canada?
Caller? You heard it, Conrad? He's asking if this is Master Welder out of Canada.
No, man. This is Junior from Mobile.
All right, continue, Junior. Continue.
Okay. Boy, the voice sounding so familiar this evening. Go ahead, sorry.
Yes, does the Prime Minister have the moral authority to lead this country?
I don't think so. Conrad, what say you?
No, I really don't think so. Once you are in this quagmire, I think you should step aside. And that is one of the reasons why we are actually putting an addendum to that, to say not just that the Prime Minister alone, but the additional 7 that are so, it is said that are under investigation as well. We should get those names. What we know for sure is that Mark Golden, Marky G, he came out and he said, listen, he did not only consult, but he had his senators and member of parliament sign to say none of them are under investigation because they are not being told. And we gather that once you are under that kind of investigation for illicit enrichment by the Integrity Commission, you are known. You know. You understand?
Because you are informed.
So therefore,
hold on, Conrad. Hold on. Somebody's saying that the IC investigates and lay charges against lots of Port Authority staff and lost. I'll have to check that one, but
they're not highlighted, so you would know.
Huh?
Those cases are not highlighted, so we would not know.
And I am remembering now the one against Grindley. It's Grindley. It was the IC who moved against Grindley from Petrojam. Conrad, I think that case, Grindley, they win that case though.
Yeah,
the one that, but we're also aware of other cases such as the former executive director for the RGD, that he was on a much simpler scenario, didn't file on time or something like that, and he lost his job as a result of that
because he didn't file on time.
Yeah, and file on time and that kind of thing. So,
but caller, caller, what you think about the Prime Minister situation? You think he has the moral authority to lead?
I don't even think he has the moral authority to carry a cup of water for anybody in Parliament.
All right.
Much more sitting there.
All right, my brother.
I think it's a big disgrace,
So
for the man to be holding functions and people going to the functions, Nobody should go.
So
there's a lot of people in Jamaica that compromise this thing, There's a lot of compromise. All the church the civil society, the press, everybody's in bed with this man.
So what do you think should happen going forward?
Functions that this man is attending, nobody should go.
Yeah, Colin, and I think I don't really want to make that quantum leap that all people are in bed with the PM. I think how I would certainly word it, Colin, we need to have here the voices of a number of groups, such as the churches and other civil society group, basically out there. But to say that they're in bed, I don't know that I really want to go that far.
Well, I want to
go
correct
that far.
something, Conrad, because the person is saying that, Colin, I didn't say lost. I said just lots of investigation and charges. Also, the person is saying that I read the question wrong. The IC had laid lots of charges against lots of persons at the Port Authority.
Indeed,
lots, not lost. Okay, all right.
Indeed, they have.
Yes.
So the caller is really collaborating the whole thing that the IC acts across the board with equity. That's what the caller is basically.
Yes, man.
saying. Or the text.
So, caller, you are saying that the Prime Minister should even be carrying water for anybody in the Parliament?
No. And then what happened, you know?
Yeah.
The situation he is in is terrible, you know. This is the first time that a Prime Minister is in his predicament, you know. When he goes, even in the Caribbean, you know, everybody turn to them nose at the Prime Minister, you know. The man is an embarrassment. Yeah, people in the Caribbean turn to them nose when he goes to certain functions.
But Carla, I want to give some other people a chance, but I want to hear from you. I want to ask you a question.
Something for him, Colin.
Yeah, I have a question for him before he go. The election coming up, Carla, do you think the Prime Minister should be on the ballot?
No. He doesn't have anything.
He said he don't believe that the Prime Minister should even carry water. He did
No.
answer.
Go ahead, Conrad. You said you have a question for the caller.
So Junior, you said you're in Montego Bay, right? You're in St. James.
Yep.
You're in St. James. Former Prime Minister PJ Patterson had done a lot of work, a lot of development work over there in St. James, you know, and Montego Bay in particular, and so on. Those areas. And you know, it basically hurt PJ now when the people basically went against People's National Party. But he understood that we're in a democracy and it is the people's right so to do. You're down there now. Are you picking up that the people of St. James are at that crucial point where we could see a rallying cry and a return to the People's National Party over there in St. James? What are you picking up?
The PMP in certain areas of the parish is getting traction.
Oh.
But there's a lot of people in Montego Bay also that you don't really know what they are saying. So you're not sure as to how the voting tendency would be with certain people. But there are certain persons that are saying they are frustrated. And if you remember the other day, the strike by the hotel workers,
yes,
that was telling you exactly what was going on in Montego Bay. Because most of the persons that work in the tourist sector live in the constituency of the tourism minister. Not a lot of people know that. But most of the persons that work in the hotel sector live in East Central St. James. So that's why they did everything to quiet down the situation that was taking place. They didn't want to blow it up.
So all in all, Junior, you're expecting improved performance in the next election down there for the PNP, whenever it's called.
The PNP should do better this time around. And the reason why I'm a bit pissed with the parish in the period when Patterson was in power. St. James got everything. Everything. The whole development of Montego Bay, the greater development of Montego Bay started in the PMP regime in 89, from 89, with the Rollins land deal, That was the era where Montego Bay started to expand. There are 4 high schools in Montego Bay: Cornwall, Mount Vernon, Bowie High School, and Harrison Memorial. Those are the only schools in Montego Bay as high schools that were not built by the PMP, The PMP built every other high school in Montego Bay, They built the community college, they built the teachers college, the university was built by the PMP, and the PMP has the parish has 5 council constituencies, and the PMP has none.
Harrison Memorial High is now a government school, because I know it was a Seventh-day
No,
Adventist school.
Harrison is a private school owned by the Adventists.
It's still owned and operated by the Adventists?
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot.
All right, Junior, enough respect. Give thanks.
Yeah, man. We link up.
Yeah, man, we'll talk.
All right, cool. Yep, cool.
Obi, last week we touched on, we were counting the seats. And you gave all 3 to Westmoreland. Yes. And you said 1-1 for St. Thomas.
Hello? Yes.
Hold on, caller. So it's 4-1 in favor of the PNP. Caller, hold on. Go ahead, caller.
Evening, Shaka. How are you doing?
Good, man. Wagwan.
Yeah, bless of corner. Me there I go. I take it easy. Now, a few questions re this government, right?
Yeah.
Between 2016 to now, how many schools have they built?
Between when? 2016 to now.
2016 to now, yeah.
None.
Only some primary school. Some basic school. Some basic school.
How many clinics have they built?
I know they built one in Buff Bay.
I'm
not
sure across the island.
Okay. All right, because I've been listening to the Prime Minister, and based on his utterances, I think he has lost it, or he's losing it. Because there's no way under God's son that he should be referring to persons of the People's National Party as dogs. It is something that should not have been said in the first place. And secondly, that is the reason why I think we need a political ombudsman.
Yes.
Because some of these utterances coming from the Prime Minister and other members of the GLP, it is unbecoming and it is totally unacceptable. I have another question, Colin. They are touting that unemployment is down by 3.3 to 3.7%.
Yeah.
But if you look at the reverse, poverty is increasing. How do you justify that?
The maths, no maths in. The maths not maths in, brother.
It's not simple. It is simple what is happening. Whenever you have a society that is producing jobs and the poverty rate is increasing, it means that the job basically is very, very dirt cheap, and you have a lot more working poor. That's what it is, really.
Because also remember, OB, you have also a statistics for underemployment now. We never used to hear that much before,
Yes, and we must also factor in that you have about 700,000 people
outside the labor force,
who are still in the working age and so on, that are outside of the labor force.
Because they are not seeking a job, so they don't count them.
They're not seeking, Because I was told, I don't know how true it is, that if I get up this morning and I go across to my neighbor's house and do 3 hours of work, voluntary work, I'm counted among those I'm added to the employment.
No, not voluntary work. If you are paid for it, you are counted.
Paid for it for 3 hours.
Not voluntary.
Yeah,
not
man.
voluntary.
If I go across there to move from Marl at the end of the 3 hours, I'm considered employed.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, but I can't. It's the first time I'm calling. I'm calling from Canada.
But listen, Lando. You must also remember now, you know, you have people who work for 3 hours for the month and work more than what you work for the year, you know.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
No, he's talking about menial employment, obviously. Pensioner.
Yes,
Pensioner.
Yeah, man.
I know wherever I go, you follow, man. So not a problem.
Yep. I want to do my prediction for the election, you know. I think the PNP is going to win 37 seats, and the JLP is going to win 26.
37 to 26.
Yes, that's my prediction.
All right. So right now we're looking at Portland and Hanover. Conrad, 2 seats in Portland. How you call them?
Yes. Before I go, Colin.
Yeah.
This scholar here, you know, it goes by the name Pensioner. He's one of my regular caller. He was a teacher in Jamaica. He now teaches in Canada, and certainly is a man who is pulse is on the ground. He doesn't miss a beat. I want to commend him. In a big way as someone who is not on the rock, but certainly he knows so much than even some of us who are here. So big up yourself, Pensioner.
All right.
Yeah, man. Respect Canada. And Colin, you know, a relative of mine, you know, she has the last name of the Prime Minister.
Oh Lord, no, she tell me say y'all call me long time.
Yeah, man, I mean, see, man.
She told me that you don't miss my shows, and you say you're going to call me. Somewhere far down in Canada, there some gully, some down, some bush there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but they are no vote.
No vote. All right, my brother. Big up yourself, family. One love.
Yeah, man.
Conrad.
Man with great Manchester and Centralization roots, you know?
Yes, man. One of his cousins in our vicinity, and yeah, man, my good friend.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah,
now, Conrad, Portland. Portland. How you see Portland? 2 seats.
Definitely, Colin. I have to use the same rubric as I use for Easter for St. Thomas and call it 1-1. I gather that Miss Campbell is doing a lot of work, but I think that she'll be handicapped somewhat by, you know, some things. However, I'm not ruling her out, but as it is right now, I'd have to say I'm calling it 1-1. I think that Mrs. Vaz will lose to Isaac Buchanan, and her husband will hold on to his seat. I think also one of the things that will also underpin that is that previously Darrell was able to campaign across the parish, you know, and have the parish almost as one constituency. I think that it's going to be hard for him to do so, because certainly Doreen seems to be much more active on the ground. And in Isaac, there is a very formidable candidate. So all in all, when I look at it, and with the level of popularity that Isaac is enjoying after, you know, winning that Vibes Cartel case and so on, his popularity shot up. And certainly he seems to be on the ground, a girl that he moved out into Eastern Portland and really on the ground. So all in all, I have to call East Portland at the minute for Isaac Buchanan.
I will not comment. I will not comment on Portland based on all the information that I have. My comment on Portland will be too informative. So for now, I am going to not even say whether I agree or disagree with your call on Portland. But let's move to Hanover.
Hanover, from all indication, and if we use the rubric, and we know some machination that is taking place and people out there talking all sorts of nonsense and so on and trying to, you know, pull, and people who maybe even turn coats and so on. But remember now that especially one person who was saying all sorts of things and saying that, you know, even the mayor down there will not win his seat and other persons and so on in the local government election.
Yeah.
And when the dust was settled, the PNP came out 7-0 in that parish. So all in all, Colin, and I believe that MP Brown is really, really weak. He was never ever a very strong candidate. You know, he's somewhat won by default and so on. So I believe that Hanover, East and West, will be going to the PNP. So I'm calling both of those seats for the PNP.
So you're calling all two for the PNP in Hanover.
All two for the PNP, and I'm on the opinion that. Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
So I just want to say to the viewers, last week we did the same thing. We looked at two seats. We looked at Westmoreland and St. Thomas. This week we are looking at Hanover and Portland. And so far, we have the PNP leading with 7 seats to 2 for the GLP. Next week, we'll be looking at St. Mary and St. James. So next week, we'll be looking at St. Mary and St. James as we look at the seats going into the next general election. Conrad O'Brien, anything you want to add before you leave us? Hold on, let me take Showerman. Showerman, lock off the instrument. Let me talk to this is the only labor right that call it out. Yeah.
Showerman coming. Run in, Showerman. Run in.
Yeah.
We are the only labor I call the program, my brother.
Yes, man, I'm going to respect you.
I've been there all this evening, all that talk. Let me tell you. Yeah, you hear me, Colin?
Yes, loud and clear.
When I be there on a program where Craig was there on. Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, man, loud and clear.
Yeah, Craig would say, Dave Brown, I do good down there. Yeah, you hear me? Dave Brown, I do good down there, and do man, I go do good. You can't win them 2 seats. Craig would him talk out time out. That them the 2 seats they got.
So let me ask you something now.
Hold on. No, Colin, hold on. Give me a chance.
Hold on.
Me not talk to Obi, you know, Colin.
Hold on a little bit.
Obi chat to you, Robbie.
Showerman, hold on a little bit. Turn off the thing you have in the background, man, because we are hear it back. Turn it off.
All right.
Turn off that and just listen to your phone.
Yeah.
Here's the question when me want to ask you. How come the GLP never win none of the council seat them in the council election?
Council election different from general, brother. Enough people don't take that serious.
No people don't take that serious.
Right. But we come general a serious thing.
So you are listening to Craig Oates, but Craig Oates is saying we're going to lose them too in the local government election, right, Conrad?
No, Craig Oates hardly come here. Craig Oates when election day. Did it come here that yard a cook pattern and no they give music.
Hold on, Conrad. Hold on. Make him finish. Come here, stop him and make it talk. Go ahead, Showerman. Finish.
Me say, Craig Oates the mayor now do nothing down there. Nothing now do.
All right. Hold on, Showerman. Go ahead, Obi.
Yeah, talk.
All right. You see, let me say this to you. Showerman. And, you know, you start off with a level of disrespect, but I bypass it nonetheless. All right?
What can I disrespect him at all, Colin?
Hold on, Showerman. Calm down, make Obi talk.
Hold on. Craig Oates, you see, is somebody that I gave several interviews to on the radio.
I know that.
Craig Oates was someone that I advocated for.
I know that. Sister Babette.
Craig Oates has been a major disappointment. Craig Oates don't understand what it means to be a democratic person. To know that, listen, if you offer yourself for a position and you don't get it, it doesn't mean that you have to become antagonistic and so on. The same thing that Craig Oates is doing now, he did it in the local government election, and he said that it was going to be a sweep for the Labour Party. And at the end of the day, when the dust settled, it was 7-0. So you can go and talk that I am talking rubbish. What you need to do is to tell me what is the rubbish that I'm speaking.
All right, Toby, go ahead, Showerman.
When you said the 2 seats down there gone, and you talk about Miss Vaz I go lose. Me not take them that there, brother. And Mary Vaz I go beat Buchan.
Show man.
Yeah.
Me I go tell you something. Me never did want to say it.
Yeah.
But I know Anne-Marie Vaz alone I go lose. Daryl Vaz I go lose in seat too.
No, sir.
Mark that down. Write that down for something.
Colin,
You see?
election night, I call you,
hold on.
Colin, and laugh after you, Colin.
I didn't want to say it, because I am intimately involved with what is happening in Portland. And I might
know more than you, and Obi tell us as far as I go, you know.
It's all right.
know more than you.
It's all right. It's a pregnancy. The baby going born. Tell your leader to call it.
Hold on.
Tell your leader to call it.
Colin.
Because let me ask you something, Showerman. Let me ask you something. I will pound to rate Daryl Vaz. Tell me what Daryl Vaz do at West Portland.
Me don't live up Portland, we tell you when
So you don't know nothing so quiet.
But me know him a star down there.
Him a star in a theme book. One of the mistakes what Daryl Vaz make is to call Portland Vazland. That's one of the mistakes. Yes, Obi.
Colin,
go ahead, Obi.
Can I ask, Showerman, respectfully, where are you calling from? Which constituency you're in?
Tivoli.
Tivoli in there, all right.
First man Mackenzie, I'm MP.
So you know you can't lose.
Lose what?
Is it true? Is it true that you're going to vote for Bonnie Witter? Is Showerman?
We hear say you vote for Bonnie Witter.
Money with a mad man, money with a man. I string money with a every time money with a come with string him man.
All right.
Colin, one more thing, Colin.
Hold on, man.
Hold on. Make Obi ask one. Make Obi talk and then you come in, Showerman.
Showerman, where you do? When you say you're stripping, you take off money off a bunny and tell him say you have a vote for him?
No, not take off money. We string him like a league line, man. But if you know, say we just give up half a don't get somebody after trying up, man.
Okay, all right, cool.
Go ahead, Showerman. You say you have one more thing to say.
Yeah, one more. You see, Manchester, Peter Phillips' son. Eh?
Yeah.
That's it, fluid. Remember me tell you that.
Hold on, Colin.
That's it, that's
Colin.
Colin.
Show man.
When I tell you, Colin, I'm tell you, say.
Yeah.
Come next month.
Yeah.
My boy, they're on East Kingston. I step out on that. Whenever I'm going to be independent,
you mean
I'm
Central?
compound with.
You mean,
but they say they're gone again, you know.
You mean Central Kingston?
Yeah.
All right, hold on now.
And next month, he might come out, you know.
Hold on.
And he said the whole around, so I'm going to be with him. And I'm never independent. I'm going to come on my side.
Let me tell you something.
They see they gone again.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Him stand a better chance coming on your side. Because no independent now go win Central Kingston. You understand? So, and Central Kingston.
If you carry people them with him, Colin, no say so.
Carry which people with him? Central Kingston will be returned to the People's National Party. Conrad wants to say something. Hold on. Go ahead, Conrad.
I just want to say to Showerman that we don't talk because of sentiments and talk from the seat of our pants. We talk based on information that we are privy to, data and otherwise. And I say this to him, Northwest Manchester will continue to be one of the first seat declared in Jamaica. Let me tell you something. During the worst time, Northwest Manchester come home for the People's National Party. That's the constituency of my birth. I'm from a little community inside there called Confidence Avenue in Greenville. And I can tell you this. I can tell you that Mickey's victory will return to the former glory of Northwest Manchester in the upcoming election. Mr. Young knows that he has absolutely not a snowball chance as in hell to win Northwest Manchester. It is just a seat that will go uncontested. I'll tell you further, and mark this now from me, and know it probably when you will say that I'm speaking even more rubbish. But mark this, it is a clean 4-0.
Don't
Manchester.
call Manchester yet, Obi. We have our program running, and we will come to Manchester in due course. Sure, man. Big up yourself. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, man.
Blessings. Caribbean Radio HD.
I still come down a garden, come link you.
Hold on there, Obi. Obi, hold on, Obi. Caribbean Radio. Want to say thanks to all the people in the chat room and who have not committed to my Teleton contribution yet. Please, Sister Tanya, depending on you, commit, send something to my Teleton. Don't make the new kid on the block stay at the back of the line. I want to go up in the line with my Teleton contribution. Want to say thanks to all the people in the chat room at Caribbean Radio HD. Big up on yourself. Love it. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow evening live at 5 p.m. sharp, 4 p.m. in Jamaica, 10 p.m. in the UK. Obi, so we are saying all 2 in Hanover to the People's National Party. You are saying 1 from Portland to the People's National Party. Next week, we'll be looking at St. Mary and St. James as we look at the seats in the upcoming general election. Anything you want to add finally, Obi?
All right. My good friend, our good friend Showerman is listening. He's from West Kingston. I received about 2 or 3 calls some time ago that people are walking over raw switch in the Denham Town community going into their homes.
Hold on, caller.
Showerman, I don't know if you want to give Showerman a minute.
No, man, Showerman is gone. Showerman is gone.
Or I was saying if you want to make a quick call for a minute to tell us whether or not that problem has been rectified. Has been rectified, you know, or you want to type it. So I'm respectfully asking Showerman, there's the raw sewage that the people within the precincts of the Denham Town community was walking over to go home. You know, has that been rectified?
Well, we'll see if we hear from him. We have a caller holding. Hello, caller. Good evening. Go ahead.
Colin, good evening.
Hey, Marshy, Wagwan.
Me there. Bless up yourself, Conrad. But hear this now. You see that Eastern
Hold on, the Marsh. Don't move. Showerman, hold on. Showerman, the sewage thing sort out down there?
Yeah, man, sort out. Man, I ask man, tell nobody the judge come down there.
All right. Respect.
So Showerman, don't be Showerman, DJ.
Yeah, man. Pretty, the road man going on the station. Pretty, tell nobody the judge come there, no talk. Judge man come and say.
So, man, you have to turn off the instrument in the background when you call, man. So, man, you have spoiled the thing, man. All right, Obi, you hear him. Go ahead, Marsh.
Yes. Listen to me. I listen me good. I remember say Marsh said this.
Yeah.
That black vote from West St. Thomas, East St. Thomas, Eastern Portland, Western Portland, and 1, 2, 3 St. Mary. The JLP will pick up none of those seats.
What? Where's the Mash?
Me said Darrell Vaz will lose and James Robertson will lose.
I'm going to tell you something. Obi, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah. The history of West Portland, and I will say no more. I have more to say about West Portland. But
somebody recently passed on from there.
Yeah, man. The former
dry, Colin. Keep your powder dry. Don't give away everything.
I am just saying, the former member of Parliament, Errol Jiggs-Ennis, has passed on. May his soul rest in power, and condolences and light perpetual shine upon him. But
I echo similar sentiments.
The history of West Portland right now is against Darrell Vaz. If you look at it, Darrell Vaz has served the maximum term.
Come on, man.
He has served the maximum term. And on election night, Doreen Campbell will shock this nation. Just, and I'm going to tell you not more, Conrad. Just write it down and remember. Colin Bell tell you that.
We said it.
Yeah, man.
And listen me. It's people believe that the other man of West St. Thomas, James Robinson or Robertson.
I am feeling
nowhere go.
I am feeling that one in Marshy. I am feeling that one. I think Hubert Williams is getting the traction, Conrad, and you need to take a look at Western St. Thomas. Take a look at it.
Let me say something.
Hubert Williams, Hubert Williams' father made it a good friend, and his son grew up. Me and his son go school together. We know them inside out, and my people them there.
Hold on, Marshall. Go ahead, Obi.
Let me just say something on Western St. Thomas. And I must say that I have a lot of time for Councillor Hubert Williams. I believe that he is someone who has his fingers on the pulse of Western St. Thomas. He is there with the people. I gather he's a high performance counselor.
Yes.
And when you put all of those into the mix, all of those things into the mix, you know, and with diminishing James Robertson, somebody who cannot find his way in the cabinet over the last so many years and so on, and kind of relegated to the backbench, you know. I think maybe St. Thomas people are taking stock of that, and certainly I would not rule out young Williams.
Let me say something. Let me tell you something else, Conrad. For the first time, he's going to be really challenged.
Yes.
So however, Colin and Marcia, based on my initial check there, I still have it lean. I'm still have it lean JLP.
And I am accepting.
Not a must win, you know, but lean JLP. Therefore, anything could happen. And as I said here before, Colin, that I anticipate that once the election is announced, on top of whatever lead the PNP is going in with the poll, once the election is announced, I expect the PNP to get a further bump of about 3 to 5%.
Well,
about 3 to 5%. And if that happens, certainly, you know, we could be seeing a greater victory than the 2/3 majority that Postal Service Miller was able to eke out in 2011, 2012.
Go ahead,
What they
Marshy.
used to tell you about rolling craft. When rolling craft come in, what they say you hear?
You hear the chain.
I bell you hear, man.
I bell?
I'm afraid to say it. When you hear the bell in St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary, that Black I tell you about it. When you hear the bell, a rolling calf, you hear.
Well, Ethics Straight says one thing you know is certain, it will be called. And on the night of election, it would be good for the PNP to have what that? Listen, ethics. You can't stay. You better get it for yourself.
Well, that old black, let me repeat it to one a year. East and West St. Thomas, East and West Portland, and St. Mary, all 3 seats in St. Mary, they all gone to the People's National Party. We see orange on the map.
If that happen, Marsh, it's going to be a total wipeout for the GLP if that happen. Total wipeout.
Me not touch down West, you know, because all 3 of Westmoreland, we understand what going on.
Well, we calculate that, we count that already. We count the 3 in Westmoreland and the 2 in Hanover for the People's National Party. Conrad called it 1 in St. Thomas and 1 in Portland. So we have looked at 4 parishes so far. And from the 4 parishes, the PNP have 7 and the GLP have 2.
You go Manchester already?
No. Next week, we're going to be looking at St. Mary and St. James. That's next week.
Yeah.
Not touching them this week.
Colin, I'm going to ask
take care. Bless up on yourself.
All right, Marsha, good.
That last clip that I sent you, I didn't hear it. I don't know if you had played it.
No, I'm going to play it yet. I'll play it right now. Right now.
Please.
All right.
Please do.
Yeah, man.
Ask them. Did you know that this is how labor rights operate.
Bustamante was there, and he said to them, say, beat them, and let them say Rastafari and Babylon stand. And if I don't kill out Rasta out of Jamaica, God will blind me.
So you heard when Buster said
I heard that with my ears, Sister Angie.
Bongo Frank, you heard that with your ears?
I heard that.
I ask you this, Bongo Frank, because we hear this all the while. And at first we are talking to somebody who actually hear it with them.
I heard that with my ears.
Yes.
Empress Angie.
Tell us what I'm saying again.
Bustamante.
Tell us what the Prime Minister said.
Bustamante is the Prime Minister. He has on a cream serge pants, a striped blue shirt with white background.
Yo.
He has on a black water boot, and the bottom of it red. He had a 22 in his side. And him said to the police them, anyway you see one or two, bring them in.
Hold on there. I was playing it on
something in the background.
Yeah, it's a call came in. Yeah, caller, go ahead.
Evening, Sir Shackelford, and even to your listener.
Yeah, man.
What may I say? You know, you see that thing we talk about Doreen?
Yeah.
Some people underestimate that girl is still, you know, but she put in the work, you know. I shouldn't understand, you know.
That's why I can't talk. That's why I can't talk, brother. I can't talk.
Them not still go and still, but we no we are going. I agree with you, you know. Something you have to just hold it until the day of redemption.
Yeah, man.
Until the day of redemption. Until the day of redemption.
Yeah, man.
Until the day of redemption.
I will say nothing.
But one thing though, me a call earlier on, and I intend to agree with him though. I think it is very disrespectful enough for the chief leader of the country to come out and styling people like that.
Yeah, man.
I think that's a very disrespectful thing, you know. And I think the Prime Minister should apologize to member of the People's National Party for saying so.
You will never get
apologize
that.
to Jamaican people for calling people dog.
You will never get that. I'm not going to do that.
You understand what I said to you? And if you look upon it, there's a trend with them, you know. Bruce Golding come and say, Chichi and them out, the PMP, them brain. Edward Thiago called PJ Black scan that bag. And he realized that each of them who said that thing
lose.
It has come to a demise to their political career. You realize that?
Yes. Yeah, man.
You understand what I said to you? And if the Prime Minister lose it, man, I mean, like,
he has
if
lost
you was
it.
a PM,
he has lost
PM,
it.
Yeah, man, he has lost. Yes. And you can't come out and campaign and say, boy, I have done this in the past 9 years I had, and this is what I plan to do for the 9 years. What I plan to do, plan to finish further doing. Him can't show the leverage of work when him do. I say, boy, I'm going to continuation to do this. So give me an next third term to make him continue. Him can't show what him do.
No.
You understand what I said to you? So it's not like a PJ party where that do things where you can say, boy, yes, in that do things, you can campaign for the things we might do.
PJ was transforming the country.
Right. And you know, see the chance all people that suffer, people are bad, nobody can buy a house, the place is stagnant, no growth, nothing.
All right, my brother. Respect.
You understand me?
Thank you.
All right.
I want to finish that clip here. Yeah. All right. Because there's a whole documentary on this, you know. Hold on,
Did
Obi.
you know
Hold on,
that
Obi.
this is how labor rights operate?
Yeah, Obi, what were you saying?
No, I was just asking if you can clean it up because it didn't come across properly just now.
Well, I couldn't clean it up now, but let's continue it.
I witnessed in the cell that I was at number 1 cell. 35 person in one cell. You cannot lay down, you cannot sit up. You have to stand on 1 foot. And when that foot tired, you stand on the other one.
35 person.
35 person in one cell.
And that cell can hold about how much people?
You can hold more about 20.
35. So you can
35
1 foot at a time.
And
how long you stand up like that in a cell?
No, you can't stand up no long time, you know. So you have to stand on the foot and ease it and stand on the foot and ease it. The man who sit down, if him get up, him can't go back at that space. The man who stand up, and if him try to get a seat, him can't find by the same space the part him come from. What's the man to take us out? And he tried to transfer us from 14 Barley Street to Hanover, the barrack prison. I was there for 3 months without trial and being in every one of the stations that you go to.
Only trod upon creation with your bloody meditation.
So you hear that, Obi?
Absolutely. You know what is instructive about that, Colin, to our listening audience and viewing audience? It's not somebody who is talking about hearsay.
That is
The
somebody.
gentleman
Yeah,
said
man.
he was there. He was one of the 35 in the cell.
Yes.
And you heard what he said. He said that the place was so uncomfortable that you have to be changing from one foot to the next.
You can't sit down.
Just imagine.
But you
can't sit down.
you hear the man say?
He said that Bustamanti swore that if him not kill out Rasta, God blind him.
But Obi,
Well,
I had
suffice it to say,
I had a
suffice it
caller.
to say he was blind before he died. You don't know if that's because he wasn't able to kill out Rasta.
So I had a caller last week, who said that he was born the day after that happened, And he's from Montego Bay, and he was giving us the same scenario, the exact history. But I happen to have watched a documentary. I listened live interview with CM Kabu, and as I was telling you about a lady who said that she had to wrap up her kingman in a piece of sponge, wrap him up and lean him up. So when the police then come, you take off the sponge off of the bed. So you might tell them, listen, see there, you can see under the bed, you have to look. That time the man lean up in the sponge. It was hell.
My God.
It was hell. And any Rasta man or anybody, I just say, wear locks and go to a labor right meeting and sing that GLP anthem, deserve to pass out.
And if I may, Colin, just in closing, there is a sister of ours down in Trelawney there, Annette. Hi, Annette.
Yeah.
You'll say probably tune in. And she was sharing with me a gentleman who joined the police force as a young boy, a young man at the time.
Yeah.
And he was so upset about what was meted out to the Rastafarian community. So he sided with the Rastafarian community and said, no, you should not do this to a human being.
Yeah.
And they turned the button and other things on him and beat him to sickness. He had become a living vegetable, brain dead literally for a number of years. And we gather that he passed on, and it told me that he passed on sometime last week. I am wishing for his family. I'm offering my condolences to his family and hoping that his soul may rest in peace and light perpetually shine on his face. So these are the kind of atrocities, Colin, that we saw took place under the Jamaica Labour Party. That's basically the kind of legacy, as it were. We are also aware. But on the other hand, we can talk about the goodness of the People's National Party. For example, when people like the late D.K. Duncan, people like oh my God, I forgot his name now, an attorney at law, brilliant attorney at law, former minister of government, when all of them, people like Squee Bertram and all of those persons marched on the hotels in New Kingston and elsewhere for black people or ordinary Jamaicans to have access to those places. So when you look at the comparison, Colin, it's a long time that the PNP is different from the Jamaica Labour Party. On one hand, brutality and wickedness muted out on the people, to the people. And on the other hand, the People's National Party has always been the vanguard of the Jamaican people, whether it is by way of education, housing, or access to, good job and facilities. So all in all, Colin, the people will have a choice to make. And here is another
Very
one
soon.
as I say. And yet again, another scenario is put to the people of Jamaica. Two persons are offering themselves as leaders of the party, two parties. One is certified,
One is not.
uncertified. Who do you support? Who do you go for?
Respect, Obi. The line getting bad. It seems like it's time to go. We talk again. Blessings, my brother. One love. Conrad O'Brien, thank you very much. New Start 93 FM, The Fireman. Check him out every Monday and Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 12 midday. Listeners and viewers, we never decided to dig up the history. It was the Prime Minister who called for history lesson. Minister of Finance, they called for history lesson. And we decided to dig up the history of Jamaica. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace now and forevermore. If you have not yet subscribed to Portland Spice TV, we're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. Be a Portland Spice TV ambassador. Send the link to some people. Tell them subscribe. Tell them to come on every Tuesday and Wednesday evening and get facts. Arm yourself with information that when you step out there, you can talk the facts, the truth that we present right here every Tuesday and Wednesday and on a Saturday morning. This has been the Colin Bell Show. Walk good. Like up the video, everybody. We have close to 700 devices and we only have 300 likes. Like up the video. Share it with your friends and family. As I say, be a Portland Spice TV ambassador and make we get some subscription. Make we go 10,000 quick and fast. Blessings, my people. One love. Have a good evening. See you tomorrow.